Since I moved in this property about 3.5 years ago, I have wanted a food forest. Now, if you don't know what a food forest is, you've probably come across it if you're at all familiar with gardening and you've done any time on the YouTube realm of the gardeners. Basically, it's the idea that you put a bunch of fruit together in a given space and you attempt to create a semi self-sustaining ecosystem like a rainforest or something. Especially here in the tropics, you have a lot of plants that they'll die off over time and they fall down, and you mulch them up or you just leave them and you put them back at the base of your old plants. But the idea and the goal is that you don't have to touch it at all. You just get to go into your food forest and collect mangoes or guava or custard apple or banana or something all throughout the year. Basically all throughout the year. Now down here in Central Florida, we are right on the edge of the tropics, the true tropics, where you have fruit that ripens all year long. We do have a bit of a dry spell, fruit-wise, from, say, November to February. But other than that, we have something that is blooming and fruiting basically every month. So I have wanted a food forest, and I've finally got the start of one. Let me show you this. This is it. I am so happy with this. We actually found a local guy here on Facebook Marketplace with a bunch of dirt that he gave us at a really good price. He dropped it off, about 20 tons worth, and we spent 3 or 4 evenings spreading it out. So let me give you a quick walkthrough here. This is soursop. It's a relative of the custard apple. Not quite as sweet, but it should do better in sandy soil. This is not quite sandy soil. Hopefully this is going to be a little better than that. But what's awesome about it is it actually stays wet a lot better than sandy soil does. That underneath it, it's wet. And we've only had a tiny bit of rain. Let me show you the comparison to our Florida native sand over here. You dig in this, clump it together, and it just falls apart. There's nothing you can do in this sand. Now some plants do like it, and I'm trying to learn to grow with or grow what likes it here. But if I can get some dirt that'll just make everything happier, then everybody wins. So I've got this spaced out at what I'm calling primary and secondary plants. So the primary plants are the ones that I want to keep growing for 20 or 30 or 40, maybe 100 years. And those are the ones that are going to be the real foundation of it over time. The secondary plants are going to grow up more quickly, but they're also not going to last as long. Papaya doesn't last more than 3 or 4 years, but the custard apple might take 3 years to produce. So I want something in the secondary position that is going to give me fruit much more quickly while the primary is growing up. So quick tour: soursop, papaya, loquat, which I love loquat. It's also called a Japanese plum. It actually fruits twice a year, an early and a later. The later is typically not as productive as the early fruiting. This is a giant Pakistani mulberry. Again, a papaya, loquat, empty space. I'm reserving a couple of spots for things that I haven't yet thought of. This is a star fruit that just was not happy where I had it. So I've moved it, and hopefully it'll be much happier here. Papaya, brown turkey fig. I love figs, but I've never really had much luck with them here in Florida. More papaya. Can you tell I had a lot of papaya? Pakistani mulberry. This is pineapple. And I got this from a local guy here who grew them in town, and they are without a doubt the best pineapple I have ever had. I have about 8 more tops that are still rooting that I'm going to plant along that side. Papaya, Barbados cherry, brown turkey fig, and look at all the growth coming on this guy. This is getting much happier. Now this is something, this is something I really have no idea what it tastes like or even looks like. It's called a Pittenkatumba. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. It's supposed to be producing fruit within the first 2 years from seed. And this is a 1-year-old plant. And it is growing pretty quickly, pretty well. We'll see what happens. I just like saying the name, Pittenkatumba. This is a pup off my dwarf Cavendish banana. The parents are over there. And this is, without a doubt, the best banana I have ever had. It's fantastic. This back here, I'm probably going to put more banana back down in here, because I just recently cleaned it out. It was a whole bunch of undergrowth and brush. Yeah, still trying to figure out what else to do with it. In the next couple of weeks, maybe within the next month, I'll probably mulch everything to help it retain nutrients in the soil and start really building the soil health. One of the benefits in a food forest system is that you are self-sustaining the soil, and part of self-sustenance means that it needs to have microbes and nutrients that live. The soil needs to be alive, and part of the way you do that is by mulching it. So if you have a food forest, what are some of the things that have been beneficial to you? Some of the tips and tricks that you've found really help your food forest take off? And also, have you treated it like a grocery row garden in the early stages? Think David the Good, for example. You know, planting annuals in among your perennials, especially while they're younger. And if so, what are some of the things that you've found intercrop with your perennials really well? I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you'd like to see anything else or if you have any questions. Thank you.